We will go in 5. Good evening and welcome to the University Challenge. We are excited that this is the 6th year of the Shark Challenge, and we are looking forward to our presenters and their presentations today. I am Ed Maurer. I am the manager of the Energy Institute at Belmont College, located just across the street from Ohio University Eastern in Claresville, Ohio. Participating tonight, we have teams from Ohio University Zanesville and Drexel University. I'll introduce them in no particular order, but first we'll introduce the team from Ohio University Zanesville, and that team consists of Sydney Stephenson, Straub, and they will present their proposal SE Mental Health. Their team is coached by Professor Darcy Wagner, who has participated in the Shark Challenge every year since the event's inception. From Drexel University, we have Yassine Ahmad, Morrison, and Sut Murthy, and they will present clean water solutions. They are coached by Professor Maureen Breen. Following each presentation, our judges will engage with the teams with a question and answer period. And we'd like to welcome back 2 of our veteran judges, Wendy Anderson, Executive Director of the St. Clairsville Area Chamber of Commerce, and Ed Luman, Manager of Engagement and Partnerships at Ohio Southeast Economic Development. We are pleased to have 2 new judges joining our panel this year. And we have Paul Benedict, Executive Director of Ohio University's Center for Entrepreneurship, and Ken Young, a global credit consultant who previously served as Credit and Collections Manager of PepsiCo Beverages Canada. We extend thanks to the Belmont County Community Improvement Corporation for joining us to provide the regional economic, culture, and economic development briefing. A major supporter of this event comes from Tech Growth Ohio, a public-private partnership of the Ohio Third Frontier program. Ohio University and the private investment community. Tech Growth Ohio is a premier program of the Ohio University's Voinovich School of Leadership and Public Affairs. 2 Ohio University alumni, Kyle Stufen and Colton Strauss, play major roles in the Shark Challenge. Both started their affiliations with this event as interns while at Ohio University. They were joined on the production team this year by interns Paul Ebling and Nicholas Nolan. Artistic direction is provided by Professor Dennis Fox of Ohio University. Michael Shore, also of Ohio University, is the Shark Challenge's producer. Each team will be given 15 minutes to present, followed by a 10-minute question and answer period. The first team to present will be Ohio University Zanesville, and their topic is OSE Mental Wealth. So we have Sydney Stephenson and Alicia Straub of Ohio University Eastern. And at the end of their presentations, I'll turn this event over to our judges for 10 minutes of question and answer. At this time, we're ready for the presentation from Ohio University. We're working out some issues with sound. Just stand by.
I think she's muted.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Staub, and my partner is Sydney Stevenson. Tonight, we are presenting to you our proposal for the OSE Mental Wealth application. Our mission at OSE Mental Wealth is to provide services and resources to improve the vitality of mental health and contribute to the enhancement of the economy. Mental well-being has been an ongoing global problem that economically will cost more than $16.3 trillion over the years. Statistics show that the average suicide rate among 11 of the 19 southeastern Ohio counties is a staggering 15 to 24%. We often do not understand the effects that poor mental health can have economically because we cannot always see them. However, poor mental health can reduce employment prospects, productivity, and wages, and is often associated with a 1.84% drop in the income. With our target being southeastern Ohio, rural area can also be a barrier, which limits the access to mental health resources. Mental health both causes and results from economic problems. This means making sure people have adequate access is a huge economic issue. The goal of our app is to promote good mental wealth, encourage a healthy economy, and inspire community connections. By providing a safe and supportive environment to address mental health concerns, this can also encourage well-being.
Music and videos, as well as job opportunities, financial resources, and housing opportunities. In the future, we would like to implement an interaction that is able to connect a user directly with a mental health professional. We wanted to make this a future component rather than as we're a startup company. The reason why we wanted to do this is because we would want to be able to partner with the correct sponsors to be able to do this both correctly and safely. So here's an example of how a user could utilize our application. So John is feeling anxious. Therefore, he opens up the OSE Mental Wealth application on his smartphone. Once John is logged in, the crisis questionnaire will automatically prompt for John to answer and provide his current location. His answers indicate that he is not in a crisis mode. Therefore, no additional crisis prompts appear. John reviews the available resources, which motivate him to go for a walk and encourage him to take deep breaths and to journalize his feelings. After these encouraging actions, John is still feeling anxious. He logs into the application once again and is able to find additional resources, such as a resource hotline, match with mental health professional near him, or to be able to notify one of his emergency contacts straight from the app. To be successful with our mission of mental health, we need the proper funding. Our app would be funded by sponsorships, charitable donations, ads on the application, federal and state local funds, grants, loans, and private investors. So here we have an overview of our startup expenses. We broke that down into equipment-based costs and admin and business fees. We broke that down even further into one-time fees and total per year. With this information, we figured out for our first year of business, we would need roughly around $87,000.
Our marketing plan includes multiple components. Our app will be available on our iOS and Play Store market. We will advertise the app through the marketplace with great description and a strong call to action by ensuring to choose keywords that would promote our app to be a top selection. We can also select to submit our app in directories within the application, which can make it easier for people to find. As people review and rate our app, it will also promote our app as well. We will also use social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. These platforms would provide a channel to reach our intended audience and even serve to promote all of the benefits and connections of our app. This would also be a great resource for us to be able to interact with people regarding our app and advertise our app directly to users' feeds so that they can download our app without ever having to leave Facebook. We have chosen to partner with local businesses and medical facilities to distribute flyers and spread word of mouth, campaigning the importance and the value of our app it has to provide our patients. We felt that choosing social media was a valuable source to appeal to the younger target market, whereas advertised flyers may have more of an effect to the older population. We are also currently in the process of interviewing providers in the area who are willing to partner and support our app by purchasing pay-per-click ads. This would not only support our app by the partnership, but it would also promote their healthcare services. We have partnered with All Well Behavioral Health Service, which is a provider of comprehensive community mental health. It is located in 7 counties out of the 19 in southeastern Ohio. They have graciously accepted a sponsor role to promote our mental health application for its patients and to provide flyers in their facilities. Upon completing a competitive analysis, we feel our app would be a success as there are no other apps with a resource like ours. The strengths of our app include it's specific to southeastern Ohio, it contains broad resources, and will involve the local businesses. It will positively impact employment, reduce the loss of capital from mental sick days, and promote a better mental health and overall well-living. Weaknesses include keeping up with the demand and the potential of our app, as well as we don't want people to think this replaces healthcare. It's still very important to seek treatment. Opportunities of our app include there are many areas to grow and many other resources we could offer, as well as potential to expand past southeastern Ohio. Another opportunity is also the possibility to develop a central location for the future so that we can increase staffing and promote more jobs within the economy. Threats of our app include that apps are able to be mimicked. Another threat could be that other competitors already do contain 1 or 2 mental health features. It's important to know that though they contain 1 or 2, they do not contain the resources that our app has to offer.
So this would be the team that is running our application. It would be Alicia being our full-time manager, and then I would be a part-time. And then we would like to commission an app developer. The reason why we want to commission an app developer is to ensure that our app functions both properly on smartphones, tablets, and websites, and also that it is extremely user-friendly. It is extremely important to us to have our OSE mental wealth application be accessible for everyone. We would then like to employ an intern. The reason we want an intern is to be able to maintain and update our application as necessary. So our SMART goals for our first year in business is to partner with 10 medical facilities for advertisement, to partner with 19 businesses. This equals out to be 1 business per southeastern county, to achieve 1,000 downloads and a 4-star rating on the iOS and Play Store. Then at the end of our first year, we will conduct an annual review to evaluate the success of our goals, then adjust and update them for our following year.
Our projections for the future include a facility location. This would prove as a valuable area to store equipment and tools and to bring our current staff together. This could also serve as a central area for community support and to be able to expand our resources and give the future opportunities to increase staffing and provide more jobs. With more resources and staffing, we feel that our app has the potential to release geographically and provide our support and benefits to other people around the states or even globally. We feel mental health is a very important issue, and being able to address mental health provides great value to the economy. In the future, we aim to partner with a company such as MyChart, which is used by many local healthcare facilities to allow patients to be able to see their health records and connect them with their providers. This partnership could be huge, allowing them to utilize our app for its features, but develop into the potential to transition the data from our app, such as the journal and other components that the person would enter, back to the MyChart for their provider to be able to use it for their utmost care.
In the case if our business had to ever come to a close, we would first notify each individual who relies on our application and direct them to new resources to help with their mental health. We would then pay our final bills and expenses, and with the remaining funds that we had, we would donate them further to the community. Or
when they enter the location, it actually just is bringing up the crisis line and connects them directly to the crisis line to speak with a qualified professional. We feel that that's the best way to make sure that they're getting the care that they need, but we're able to connect them within a timely manner.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, well, I'd like to ask a question, but thank you so much for the presentation. I appreciate that so much, and especially during this era of COVID, it's so critical to look after one's mental health and help other people too. Can you just tell me a little bit about the behavioral health service of All Well Health, and just help me understand what they do? And it's great that they're supporting you. But can you tell me, like, they're not obviously not competition, or you wouldn't be using them. What all do they do that's beneficial, that you put them on your website as a supporter of you?
So we spoke with Sam Clark, who works in the IT department, and he was able to give a lot of advice on my chart and stuff like that. And then they're a behavioral health service, so they help with mental health, with mental illness and everything like that.
Okay, so you might be even referring people to them, I guess. Is that part of
Yeah,
it?
we would be able to. Go ahead, Alicia.
Sorry, they actually provide, it's kind of like an outpatient type behavioral health service. It provides a lot of mental health issues such as ADHD, bipolar, PTSD, child and adolescent issues, addiction. So it's really a good resource for outpatient as well. So it's a good opportunity for us to partner with them so that we can get people to the healthcare that they do need.
Great, thank you. Great partnership. And just tell me about sponsors. How many do you kind of anticipate? And do you have any idea what they would, your revenue stream would be, or what would be cost to have an ad on your site? How many sponsors would you expect to help finance your ongoing your efforts with the entity? Any idea? Maybe you're just looking for funding elsewhere, but you mentioned sponsors.
Yeah, we have been speaking with mental health providers in general to get their idea of the mental health app, if they would be willing to put the or to pay for the pay-per-click ads. So we don't necessarily have an estimated cost at this moment, but that is something that we are looking to expand or to utilize to be able to help sponsor our app. So as we continue to interview these providers and get their opinions, then we'd be able to better develop a cost that would be able to associate back to them.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, team. This is Paul Benedict. So I wanted to sort of pivot off of a question that Wendy asked. So when a user comes into your app, they're going to go to the journal and they're going to write about their day, write about how they're feeling. If I'm understanding that correctly, does anything happen with those journal entries after that? Are they just there static as a repository, or that the user can come back to, or is there anything that is reviewed in those notes? Is there any feedback given? Is there any handoff to a mental health professional? Can you walk me through that a little bit?
We felt that the best way for this app to function would be as a resource for the user. So data over to my chart, so the providers are able to access that right away. However, with it being a mental health app, it is important that we do have that support, and knowing that there is issues with crisis is why we chose to directly connect them to the crisis line, as opposed to saving it for mental health providers to review. So it's mainly just for their use.
So does the user have to say I'm in crisis for them to get that alert, or does that happen some other way?
It happens right. Everybody establishes a logon. So right when you log into the app, it asks you those questions, and there'll be a set questions determined by mental health providers. We are working with mental health providers to establish those questions, and it will automatically kick those questions that they answer back to the crisis line so that a qualified professional can answer them.
Gotcha. And are you imagining your core users of this app to be people who are already getting professional help or not yet?
You know, honestly, I do think that is a big core of our group. However, it's definitely needed elsewhere. Many companies we researched are actually taking steps to try and introduce mandatory mental health training into workplaces in order to promote, work when it comes to heavy workloads, working long hours, or being away from family. So we could always partner with companies as well to be able to use our app for their employees. And then also another thing we researched was in Southeastern Ohio, with it being rural, farmers often develop depression, anxiety related to their workload as well. And especially with COVID-19 and, the risk to the production and the supply chain distribution, it can definitely pose issues as well. So I feel that our core can definitely expand past those who are actually seeking treatment at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, and Alicia, Sydney, great job. Kudos for all your efforts. You mentioned business and doing some research. Have you actually talked with businesses in the region about this mental health issue being a major problem for them among their workforce? Or is it, how did you discover this information? I guess it's my first question.
Mainly a lot of our information came from research and statistics. We weren't able to actually reach out to a local business. However, speaking with mental health providers, we were able to determine some of the risks that are most important. As we did our research, we were able to correlate that back. So for instance, one of the research that we did do statistically was the high suicide rates within the Southeastern Ohio. Another issue is being that in Southeastern Ohio, there is a lot of farming and a lot of rural area. So there is more access to guns. So that was another resource that could provide to be able to establish and help those who need assistance. So we weren't able to actually talk to the public businesses, but through our research, we were able to gather a lot of statistics and associate it as they came from the Southeastern Ohio.
And thanks. And my other question would be, when you talk about one business in each county, have you had any thought or discussion about how you would go about trying to pinpoint that one business, or would it come from research you may do on a county or conversations maybe with the provider you've partnered with? How would you determine which business you would try to go to?
We could go about this a couple of different ways. I know cold calls aren't really made nowadays, but we could try cold calling and just hopefully maybe like word of mouth as well. With more people using our app and more people relying on it, they'll get the word out, and maybe they will know somebody with a business or something like that who would want to partner with us or sponsor us, as well as maybe just going to the businesses, supporting them in hopes that they would support us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And
I have
thanks
one more
again.
question.
Thanks again for your effort.
One more question really quick. So you said when they log in and they answer questions, and that's what will determine if you send them to a crisis management or something, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so wonder if they answer those questions correctly, like that they're okay. And do you have something in place where as they're journaling, it will pick out keywords that would be able to, like tell someone this person is having an issue?
So actually that is one thing I did speak to a mental health provider with, the potential of developing an algorithm. Obviously at this point as a startup app, we wouldn't be able to associate with that until we get more of the sponsorship and the one-on-one communication. but I was able to speak with a mental health provider who thought it would be a great idea to develop an algorithm that will actually utilize the journal, how they write, resources that they click on, and to be able to send that information back to determine whether they are in need of crisis or future crisis down the line. So if there was a potential for an episode to occur, this obviously definitely needs to be very safe and secure. So this is something that we would have to work on down the path, especially developing that one-on-one relationship with a provider that's willing to support that, or a facility that's willing to utilize that. So for instance, the MyChart is what we were speaking with.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Ohio University Zanesville. Thanks to the participants, and thank you for the judges for your questions. We will now move on to our second presentation for the night. It comes from Drexel University, and the title of the presentation is Clean Water Solutions. So we have Yassine Ahmed, Brianna Morrison, and Sud Murthy. So take it away.
Good evening, judges. My name is Yassine Ahmed. I'm a pre-junior studying supply chain management and logistics, finance, and business analytics.
Good evening, judges. My name is Brianna Morrison, and I am a sophomore studying finance.
Good evening, judges. My name is Sud Murthy. I'm a junior, and I'm pursuing a degree in accounting and double majoring in finance.
The story behind the formation and creation of this business proposal stems from our common interest in water quality. We are all students at Drexel University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Drexel University is located in University City, which is separated from Center City by the Schuylkill River. This river provides a sense of tranquility and a strong bond with nature in America's 6th largest city. However, we have witnessed the pollution and mismanagement of the river, which has caused many people to avoid the area over the past couple of years. This is what we want to accomplish with our water purification system in Ohio Valley. How do I go next? My apologies, I'm having a technical issue. Judges, would I be able to start again? I'm seeming to have a technical issue on my side.
Do you have your issue straightened up?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, let's go back and start from the top then.
Apologies, sorry. We good to go?
You're good to go.
Perfect, thank you so much. Good evening, judges. My name is Yassine Ahmed. I'm a pre-junior studying supply chain management and logistics, finance, and business analytics.
Good evening, judges. My name is Brianna Morrison, and I am a sophomore studying finance.
Good evening, judges. My name is Sud Murthy. I'm a junior, and I'm pursuing a degree in accounting and finance.
The story behind the formation and creation of this business proposal stems from our common interest in water quality. We are all students at Drexel University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Drexel University is located in University City, which is separated from Center City by the Schuylkill River. This river provides a sense of tranquility and a strong bond with nature in America's 6th largest city. However, we have witnessed the pollution and mismanagement of the river, which has caused many people to avoid the area over the past couple of years. The city of Philadelphia recently began cleanup efforts and directed funding to uplift the Schuylkill River Trail, which is a trail that offers cyclists and runners to make their way along the river, which in turn has both attracted people to the area and real estate developers. This is what we want to accomplish with our water purification system in the Ohio Valley. Let's get started. We believe, well, Clean Water Solutions is a company that will specialize in the assembly and installation of nitrate filtration systems in the Ohio Valley region. Our systems offer a simple and effective remedy to an ongoing issue that is ravaging the local water supply. We believe in a world where every single person has access to clean and safe drinking water. Clean water changes absolutely everything. When a community gets access to clean water, it can change just about everything. It can improve health, access to food, local economy growth, and education.
So you may be asking yourself, what do we offer? We offer an innovative method of irrigation that combines the design of a traditional subsurface drip irrigation system with the nitrate filtration capabilities of the ion exchange water treatment system that is commonly used in households. The nitrate filtration irrigational system, also known as the NFIS, will be used to clean rivers and increase their contribution to the area's economy. It is designed to significantly lower the number of nitrates that farms release by utilizing a solid base anion exchange resin that attaches itself to nitrate anions. And as water flows through the resin beads, the nitrates stick to the beads and clean water is produced. This clean water will then be used again to irrigate the fields. The system consists of 5 main parts: the filters, control valves, irrigational lines, filtration lines, and water storage tanks. The process begins in the water storage tanks, where farmers will initially need to fill it up with the correct amount of water for their acreage. The water storage tank is connected to the irrigation controller, which allows farmers to shut the system off in the winter, allow for any repairs to be made, or turn it off if the system is not in use. The well pump propels the water into the chemical injection tanks, where the water is injected with chemicals to make sure that the minerals and nutrients are in there for the plants. After the water is filtered, it makes its way to the control valves, where the farm owner can control the amount of flow of water to their crops. The water then makes its way through the irrigational lines and to the root of the crops. Once the soil is saturated, nitrate-rich water becomes groundwater that settles at the water table. This water would eventually make its way to the riverbeds if not for our nitrate filtration lines. The nitrate filtration lines takes in the nitrate-rich water and pumps it to the resin ion exchange tanks. In the resin ion exchange tanks, the nitrate-rich water is filtered through negatively charged resin beads, and as the nitrates contact the resin beads in their travel, they displace the sodium ions from the exchange sites. This nitrate-free water is expelled from the resin exchange tanks and then makes its way to the water storage tanks, where it will be used again when the farmer is ready.
So looking at our target market, we offer solutions for both commercial and non-commercial farms.
Now, what are our benefits to our system and who do they benefit to? One group is the community. The system will reduce the nitrate concentration of water and will mainly provide safe drinkable water and reduce the incidence of health problems. Second group are the farmers. The system will help farmers' irrigation systems by reducing water consumption. It can even help the farmers and consumers save money and make food prices cheaper. And last but not least is the economy. The system will increase recreational activities in the area and create opportunities for businesses to develop. It will also generate increases in employment and tax revenue.
In addition to these 3 sectors, our company also plans to inject money into the Ohio region by purchasing equipment from Ohio-based companies. We have already found some companies to source from. For example, we'll be purchasing our drip lines and emitters from Wolf Creek Distribution, which is located in Trotwood, Ohio. Valves to break the field into zones from Ohio Valve Company, and filters to protect the drip emitters from plugging with contaminants such as soil and sand from Hearst irrigation devices. Because our product is the first of its kind, there are no companies that make this system, but there are companies who manufacture the parts that are used in our system. For example, Pure Aqua. Pure Aqua is a company that produces nitrate ion exchange systems that are used to treat well water and remove nitrates. This system is capable of treating 10 gallons per minute and 20 ppm of nitrate in the feed water. The system is larger than the typical ion exchange system that is used in homes because it is used to treat greater amounts of water used in wells. The great thing about the Pure Aqua system is that it shows that nitrate ion exchange systems ability to be scaled up and that our system is possible. While Pure Aqua's exchange system is able to provide clean drinking water, it does not solve the problem of the polluted Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Unlike Pure Aqua system, our system is able to target the direct source of where the nitrates come from and eliminate these harmful anions before they are able to make their ways into the riverways and pollute them. There is another company called Columbus Irrigation. Columbus Irrigation is a company that manufactures subsurface drip irrigation systems. Their system is capable of providing even distribution to crops, saving farmers money by reducing their surface evaporation and being a more efficient way to water the crops. The main difference between Columbus Irrigation system and ours is the components that make up our system. For example, we need a nitrate removal ion exchange system within our system, while Columbus Irrigation does not. Additionally, what sets us apart is the capabilities of our systems. We are able to do everything Columbus Irrigation is able to do and more, such as removing these harmful nitrates and collecting the filter water to be used again, which saves farmers even more money. The great thing about Columbus Systems is that it shows that it is possible to lay the pipes down that we need for our system. Clean water solutions is not a brand new idea that no one has heard of before. We are just reinventing the wheel. So we were able to break down the pricing to $2,500 per acre of farm. And we found this pricing because the common subsurface drip irrigation system costs anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 per acre, and we will charge $1,300 per acre, plus $500, an extra $500 per acre for the ion exchange tanks, which averages from $50,000 to $100,000. And the average farm in Ohio, according to the study done by the NASSUSDA.gov, is 178 acres. So this will roughly break down evenly. And we will also include an additional $200 per acre for the additional piping needed for our system, and an additional $500 per acre for profit and installation.
So taking a look at our factory, we've located a factory that matches both our assembly and distribution needs. Located on Hennebert Road in Barnesville, Ohio, this 10,000 square foot facility will aid us in our operations and enhance the services we provide to our customers. With 22-foot ceilings and 4 loading bays, we will be able to seamlessly receive parts and distribute our finished products to our clients with ease. This factory would cost about $1.5 million to purchase upfront, or we could lease the facility for $16,000 per month. Looking at the location over here, this is an aerial image of the facility that we would purchase. This facility was formerly owned and operated by a trucking company, so we know that it has the capacity and the roads to support our supply chain. Looking at the location continued, on the previous slide, we have a map of the distance of the facility to the I-70, as well as a photo of the highway itself. Going forward onto our operations, as an up-and-coming company with a factory this size, we have decided to work with a team of 50 hard and forward-thinking employees. The plant manager will oversee the chief engineer, supply chain manager, the production manager, and quality assurance manager, whilst the various departments that pertain to accounting, human relations, public relations, sales will also operate outside of the facility. We aim to bring our customers and initial clients extremely close to our products, and we strive to maintain excellence in the assembly phase. Client meetings can be held at the facility to emphasize our hands-on approach and authentic relationship building. We've come up with a client timeline that outlines our procedure with our clients. It grants us the opportunity to both effectively tailor the wants and needs of our clients whilst giving us time to get our ducks in a row before committing to a project. The Timeline follows a 5-week consultation period where the first week is a face-to-face interaction with our client where we understand their background, goals, and plans. Week 2 is the phase where we make a site visit to their property, get to know to what extent they're willing to utilize their land. Week 3 is the math phase where we come up with an accurate quote that fits the needs of the client. And week 4 is the proposal phase where the client either accepts or rejects our deal or make alterations to the deal. And week 5 is where we begin the assembly of the filtration system and the installation process. Obviously, week 5 is only in phase if they accept the proposal.
Now, in terms of total expenses, the rent for land and factory is $16,000 per month, which equals up to $190,000. We also plan to purchase manufacturing equipment worth $500,000. Now for salaries expense, according to Career Explorer, the average salary for a water treatment employee is $49,220. For 50 employees, the total salaries expense is $2,461,000. Water rights expense is $2,670.36. Our total estimated budget will be up to $3.2 million. In terms of financing, our sources for funding will be grants provided by the United States Department of Agriculture and the Environmental Protection Agency. The USDA is offering the Ohio Water and Waste Disposal Program, which is eligible for private nonprofits, state and local government organizations, small households, and rural areas. Funds are long-term, low-interest loans, can be used for water treatment, land acquisitions, operations, and water rights. The EPA also offers the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, which is eligible to any green infrastructure projects and other water quality projects. Loan terms are also customizable to meet the needs of rural, disadvantaged communities, or small businesses. Now our operations timeline. By May 14th, we aim to have purchased the factory on rent by the deadline, as well as have transported equipment. By August 30th, we will have assembled the machinery with our latest NFI's technology. We also have installed machinery in the factory and test and perform maintenance checks on our machinery before starting our hiring process. Finally, by September 30th, we'll have finished recruiting unemployed local Ohioans in Ohio Valley through sites such as LinkedIn and Indeed.com. To be certain that we're hiring the right people with the right qualifications, we'll be checking backgrounds and interviewing potential recruits for accounting, engineering, and R&D positions. After interviews, we'll have recruits that stand out begin the training process for 3 to 4 weeks. Then CWS begins operations.
Thank you for taking time to listen to our presentation. We will now be answering your questions.
Okay, thank you, team. That was very good. We will now turn it over to our judges for any questions.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Great. I love the presentation. I thank you for that. I do have a question. The NFIS. So if I'm a farmer, do I get all of that, what was on your screen, all of that, which was in that program or that piece, all those, pipes and containers, that would be for my one farm, correct?
Right. So I think that it's definitely it's a flexible, setup. That's what we have the consultation period for. We have that 4-week consultation period where we can kind of, match up what our clients really need. If they need more filtration tanks, then we'll offer them more filtration tanks. It allows for us to have flexibility on both ends.
Okay. So that picture was just like a large scale. So you can scale that down to each individual farm or their needs.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
I'll jump in. Thank you so much for the presentation. I appreciate it so much. Just a couple of questions, just in reference to the grants you're looking for. You mentioned EPA and USDA. Do you know if there are any limits to the grants, like a certain values that they go up to, or is it kind of unlimited on both those government agencies?
Well, there is a chance there is a limit. Yeah, I'd say the average number of money provided for each water projects in Ohio is around 1.7 million, no, $2.7 million. So it depends on how they look at our proposal, and depending on any factors, then we go from there.
Okay, thank you. Another question, can you just give me, like, if I'm a farmer, can you just give me like a 30-second elevator pitch why I'd want to use your product?
Definitely. So if you're a farmer, our product will be very beneficial to you because it reduces subsurface evaporation, saving you water. And in turn, our product also reuses the water that you already use, and you can use it again to once again irrigate your fields. So that saves you water again. And farmers in Ohio pay certain taxes and for the pollution that they produce within the rivers. So when in turn our system eventually lowers the nitrates in the overall river, this will lower the taxes that farmers will have to pay.
Great, thank you very much.
Team, thank you. How bad is the water here in the Ohio Valley?
Sure, I can answer that. So I was, previously, before we embarked on this project, we did a lot of research into the water quality in the area. And just in the river alone, there are a lot of heavy metals, manganese. I was aware that there's also a lot of copper in the river, which is not very good. Does that answer your question?
Well, I'm wondering, I'm wondering, what specifically in terms of the things that you're going to remove from the water, how bad is it here relative to other places maybe?
Definitely, I can answer that. So the legal drinking limit of nitrates in water is 10 parts per million or 10 ppm. And in Ohio, in a lot of the places, we were doing some research, it's over 0.5. While that is not illegal, it's still harmful if you consume this on a daily basis. It causes blue baby syndrome. It causes a whole bunch of birth defects and negative effects on not only the fish that swim in the water, but also the people that consume the water. So the system that we showed you is able to eliminate 20 ppm. So our system is going to be on a bigger scale, which will be able to eliminate more. We haven't exactly figured that out because we would have to actually make our own system to test that out to see how much it can get rid of. But if a smaller system can get rid of 20 ppm, then ours can get rid of larger, which would be really good and eliminate all the nitrates that are in the water.
Okay. So, but maybe reducing more than is at a regulatory required level, right? Is that a fair interpretation?
That is correct.
Okay. In back to you mentioned that the value proposition to the farmers is reducing water loss, recycling water. In one of your slides, you had the cost estimates on a per acre basis. I was scribbling notes and I'm not sure I caught it all, but it looked like maybe the difference between your system and maybe what farmers are currently using might be $1,200 or $1,300 an acre. Number one, is that correct? And number two, if it isn't, if you can correct me, that would be swell. And then in terms of the cost of the water for the farmers, how much of that can they recoup in lowering their water bills?
Brianna, would you like to take that?
Yes, so since farms are of different acreages and use different amounts of water, we are unsure how much water per farm that could actually save them. But that is correct that our system would be an additional 13,000 per acreage, but that's what we have right now. Again, our system is one that we have created. None of us are architectural engineers. We know that the system works, but we need to get the system ran by another architectural engineer. and they could approve what we need more of, what we need less of. But that is our quotation for right now. We came up with that quotation by looking at a regular SDI system, which uses mostly the same parts as our system. And then we included the price for an ion exchange tank. And we divided that up by the average acreage per field. It could be less, it could be more, depending on the size of your field, depending on the amount of water that will be distributed to your field. And then we also included the average amount of pipes that we would need for your field for the additional part of the system. Now, this price is subject to change depending on what we find when we run our idea through our actual architectural engineer. But as of right now, that is the base price that we've created per acreage. And that way we're able to scale it up and down. So if you have a smaller farm, we're able to give you an estimate. And if you have a larger farm, we're also able to give you an estimate of how much it would cost.
And do you know, is there a sort of non-theoretical limit, like how small a farm could benefit from your system?
Yes, so there's not a minimum, I would say, per se, because any farm could run on the system, but there is a maximum. But the great thing about our system is that even though there's a maximum, you could break your field into different zones and put a tank per zone. So the real limiter is the tank, how much water it can carry. But once you get to the maximum for your farm, you could break that into one zone and then make another zone and put that on another system. So the bigger a farm is, the more systems you may need, but there's no maximum per se.
Got it. Thank you, Brianna and team.
So looking at your costs, and great job, and thank so much for participating. And obviously you've researched the Ohio Valley. To find a building in Barnesville, you had to be doing some major research. So I tip my hat to you for the work you've done on getting to know Eastern Ohio. Looking at your expenses, where's your break even? I mean, how many of these systems are you going to have to put out there in order to recoup your costs? Have you figured that out yet?
I say we start off with one region, with one area right now in the Ohio Valley first, next to near the river area, and from there we see how our system works, and if operations run smoothly, then we continue to expand from there.
The great thing about our system is that although we plan to initially start by selling 100 systems, and once we sell that 100 systems, we see how farmers like it. And it's not just Ohio that's having this problem with the nitrates, it's the entire world. There's a black zone at the end of at the Gulf of Mexico because of all the nitrates that's being drained down there. So once we finish in Ohio, we are able to expand throughout the whole entire world. And it's scalable, it's very scalable, but we plan to start off by selling 100 units and getting feedback from what farmers see, what farmers like, what farmers don't like, change our system a little bit, and then scale it from there.
So will those 100 units make you put you at break even in year one, or is it 100, 2 years, 3 years? Where do you see, since you're all involved in financing majors of some sort, where do you see yourself? How many years out do you see yourself before you break even on your business model?
Within 2 years.
And I have a really stupid question. So if I'm a farmer, how do I water my crops now? I obviously I don't just rely on rain. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No. So farmers right now, they either have an irrigational system, which we showed you a little earlier with Columbus irrigation. They have an irrigational system, but it does not remove nitrates, or they have machines that will water their fields. But our system is more efficient if you currently don't have an irrigational system. And if you do have an irrigational system, our system saves you water by reusing the water that's collected, and you are able to repurpose that. And it's just a better model than if you don't have our system.
Thank you, and thanks again to the Drexel team and the OUZ team. We really appreciate all the work you guys have put into these proposals, and thanks for participating. Thanks for stepping up.
Okay, again, we will now move our judges to the breakout room. Thank the team from Drexel for your presentation. And we will be in a breakout room deliberating, and we'll be back in several minutes to announce the winner. Judges are coming back. I'm looking around to see that. I see Wendy, I see Paul, I see Ed, and Ken. Where's Ken?
Right here, right here.
Yep, okay. So the judges have deliberated, and I want to share with you, having MC for this event for, this was a very close race, and commented on how both projects were very good. And some of the comments that they made was they appreciated how each team took feedback that was presented to them from the preliminaries and incorporated that feedback into their presentations, and particularly how each team did some research germane to their topic. But having said that, it's always difficult to pick a winner. And this year's winner is the team from Drexel University, Clean Water Solutions. So congratulations. And we appreciate everybody's effort. The team from Ohio University, Zanesville, the team from Drexel, and all the support people from Ohio University Eastern, and particularly the efforts of our judges. I want to take a special note to the people that were behind the scenes, Luke, Colton, Nicholas, and Paul, and for our producer, Michael Shore. So thank you very much. This concludes the 2021 Ohio University Eastern Shark Challenge. Have a good evening. Good night.